Hello and welcome back. I'm Danny Burke. Do you guys like Pokemon? Of course you do, obviously. It's one of the most popular things of all time, I think. We love Pokemon, but there are some Pokemon out there that I've looked at over the years and thought, I think you're cool, but I'm really glad you aren't real. To see why, join me now as we look at the top 10 Pokemon you're glad don't exist. Alright, coming in at number 10 now, we have LAMPENT. This is one soul-sucking Pokemon, literally. It burns the life force of humans to use as fuel for itself. That sounds pretty depressing, but it gets even worse. LAMPENT struggles to burn the life force of healthy creatures and finds that those closest to death are the easiest targets. That's why it's said to be most commonly found in hospitals, waiting for people to die. Yeah. Lovely. I want you to all double check that your lamps are actually lamps after this video. Yes, please. At number 9 now, we have GOURGEIST. Halloween pumpkins are meant to be scary, but what's scarier is an actual living Halloween pumpkin. You see those arms coming out the top of GOURGEIST? Well, they're used to hug you. That's nice, isn't it? And by hug you, I mean GOURGEIST squeezes you to death with them. It also sings to you as you die, which is how you know that it's enjoying your suffering. That's actually true. Somehow this is a Pokemon. Moving on to number 8 now, we have DROWZEE. Now at first glance, he's just a dopey looking Pokemon with a nice sleepy name. But his name doesn't come from his love of sleep, but his love of dreams. DROWZEE eats dreams, specifically the dreams of children, which are said to be tastier than any nectar. Horrifying. Once it's eaten a child's dreams, it will move on to the next one, leaving the original child with room only for nightmares for the rest of their life. This sounds like a horror movie plot that was turned into a goofy looking Pokemon. I'm glad it's not real. At number 7 now, we have CACTURNE. Cactuses are prickly and can make you bleed, but at least they can't move. If you know where one is, you can just leave it alone. Well, CACTURNE can move. It's said that if a traveler is going through a desert at night, it will follow them, literally stalk them until they collapse from exhaustion. That's when they will pounce on you in a group and attack you. I honestly think that a pack of needles stalking me through a desert is pretty much my definition of a nightmare. Moving on to number 6 now, we have CUBONE. CUBONE wears the dead skull of its mother. By that, I don't mean just one single CUBONE, I mean all of them do. This leads many Pokemon fans to presume that all Cubones must have killed their mothers and then wear the skulls as some sort of sick trophy. Despite that, Cubone cries at the thought of its mother or when it sees a full moon because it thinks it looks like its mother somehow, making a hollow rattling noise inside the skull. Now if a human did this, we would lock them up for life. When Cubone does it, we make it into a plushie. No thanks. Next up at number 5 now, we have Mewtwo. Many Pokemon fans will argue that Mewtwo was the most powerful Pokemon in the world. He was genetically manufactured to be that way, but was born into the world with a very powerful hatred for those that created him, and arguably all humans in general. If he was real, it's kind of doubtful that he would recognize the differences between the humans who made him and the rest of our species in real life. We better pray that he doesn't use his immense psychic abilities on us, and especially pray that he never comes into existence. At number 4 now, we have YAMASK. YAMASK carries a mask that used to be its face when it was a human. You heard me right. This is a Pokemon that used to be an actual living person, just like you or I. When that person died long ago, they became this shadow type Pokemon. It has memories of actually being a human and cries whenever it looks at its own mask. If a YAMASK lands on your face, you will then become possessed by the spirit of that dead person. I am so glad this Pokemon wasn't around when I was a kid, otherwise I probably would have cried a lot. Kinda feel like crying right now. Alright, coming in at the number 3 spot now, we have Phantom. How do I convey how creepy Phantom is? Well, Bulbapedia described Phantom as a dead child's spirit possessing a rotten tree stump that lives in an abandoned forest. How creepy is that? It's horrifying. If Phantom was real and you somehow found yourself near the woods where they lived, you would know they were there because it imitates the moans and cries of the dead children whose souls it has possessed. I feel a bit sick. At number 2 now, we have Yveltal. This Pokemon may look nothing like a caterpillar, but it kind of has a similar life cycle. When it reaches the end of its life, it absorbs nutrients around it, turns itself into a cocoon, and then is born again. The problem is, Yveltal is insanely strong, and when it dies, it absorbs the life energy of every single living thing in the area. If it was real, and it did that in a built up area, it could kill millions of people, and there wouldn't be too much we could do to stop it. Maybe try and catch it in a Pokeball. That usually works. Finally, at number 1, we have Arceus. Arceus is basically God when it comes to the Pokemon world. According to legend, mentioned, this Pokemon emerged from an egg before the universe even existed and shaped all there was in the world. Now, while many legendary Pokemon are undoubtedly powerful, Arceus made quite a few of them, including the late Guardian Trio and the legendary Titans, once fighting off all three of them at once. Many people out there agree that Arceus is not only the most powerful creature in the Pokemon universe, but that if it did exist in real life, it would probably be the most powerful in ours too. All that power in one single being would make us a little bit twitchy, a bit nervous. Imagine if we upset Arceus one day, what would it do to us? I'll let you guys discuss that one in the comment section below. I also do really want to hear your suggestions for any future videos, but most of all, I want you to hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss out on any of our daily videos right here on Top 10 Gaming. My name is Danny Burke. I hope you enjoyed the video and have a lovely day.